Hey guys, welcome to M&M Plants. Today's video is about my most favorite flowers, which I definitely grow every winter season. I just wait for winter so that I can grow these flowers, and they are none other than Ranunculus. The full name is Ranunculus primulus. So if you have winters coming up or spring coming up when it's not too hot, you can manage having morning sun and a cold climate, definitely not summers. Try Ranunculus, and I'm sure that you'll forget many other flowers because you'll just fall in love with them. I have Ranunculus right now in a different varieties of colors. This is orange over here. I have yellow, red. They just look like roses, but these are different to roses, obviously. I have white over here. I have pink, and this is a little unique pink and white mix, hybrid variety. Now, one thing I want to show you with Ranunculus, look at this plant compared to all other plants. It's a little wilted. The leaves, they are not very pretty. They look like some sort of weed or a grass. The main attraction is over here, the flowers. I will wait for the plant to wilt like this, and that's when I would water, because my plant is telling me that it's thirsty, and that's when I know that I need to water it. If my plant is looking fresh like this, it's not wilted, I will not bother watering it whatsoever. That is one main thing I would take care with Ranunculus, because they don't like wet soil at all. And I don't keep them outside in rain, because that would then give them a lot of water. The flowers are very delicate, so if you keep them outside in rain, or if there is hailstorm sometime, the flowers would just the petals would spend, and you will not have as many flowers as you should be having. So I would recommend you having Ranunculus in some sort of under some shed, and so that it doesn't get rainwater directly on it. Next thing I want to show is soil. So the soil for Ranunculus has to be rich in nutrients because it needs to bloom. So I will make sure that it has a lot of nutrients, and hence what I would do is when I plant my Ranunculus, I would take normal potting mix and add a lot of cow manure and bone meal powder. So it is well drained, like it is not very clay, but at the same time my favorite fertilizer would be bone meal powder and cow manure, and I don't give it liquid fertilizer. Now, next thing I want to discuss is sunlight. It's definitely something I grow in winters, and I would make sure it gets direct sun in the morning for at least 3 to 4 hours. But I don't want to give Ranunculus afternoon sun, because even if it's winter, sometimes afternoon sun can be a little harsh. Not harsh for us, but yes, harsh for Ranunculus flowers, because they are very delicate. If you have a look at this, I've never seen a flower as delicate as this flower. So I would give it morning sun only, 3 to 4 hours. Whenever you water your Ranunculus plant, I would always take the leaves like this at the side and water it straight in the soil. I would not water it on the plant or on the flower, because when you water it on the plant and on the flowers, that's when fungal infection starts, which I don't want, and hence watering directly in the soil is very important. Next thing I want to show is I always prefer growing Ranunculus in beds like this, over here as well, and in pots. And I do not prefer it growing straight in ground in the soil, because that ways when there is a lot of rain over here in winters, in Australia in winters it rains a lot. So if I keep it outside like straight away in the ground, a lot of rainwater this plant will get, which is not good. It doesn't like that rainwater, a lot of rainwater. This needs to be dry. The leaves need to be dry, the flowers need to be dry, only the soil needs to be moist. That's when they last longer. Now, when the temperature starts increasing, let's say it enters into late 20s and 30s, that's when I will see that my Ranunculus plants will start dying. They cannot handle that high temperature. So what I can do is I can save the bulbs. So I'll just take the plant out. There will be bulb underneath. I'll save it for next year. I can wrap it in a plastic bag, and I can keep it inside my house in a warm, moist place, and save it for next year. Next year, when the winter is about to start, let's say 1 month prior to that, I can just put them in soil, and that's how I can have beautiful Ranunculus. But they're not very expensive, especially here. You get them easily for like $4. So they're not very expensive plants. So if you don't have the patience of growing them using seeds and bulbs, you can just buy them, the ready-made plants with buds or some flowers, and then you can have ranunculus for the rest of the winter. Cleaning your or keeping them clean is very important. Like over here, I don't know if you can see, but I've chopped a lot of my ranunculus plant, white color. The moment you see that the leaves have started touching the soil, I would just take it away. I don't want the leaves to touch the soil, because again that invites a lot of fungal infection. Leaves will be moist all of the time, wet all of the time because of the soil, and that's when they start developing a lot of fungus. Sometimes you'll see that the bottom part of the plant has started developing yellow leaves, and when you see such yellow leaves, you don't need to panic, you don't need to stress. Simply just take them off and keep your plant nice and clean. That ways they last longer, and your plant will always be healthy, and it will be able to give you a lot of flowers. If you have already fallen in love with these plants, these ranunculus flowers, do consider subscribing this channel and becoming part of this family, and also hitting that like button if you like this video. With that, I'll take your leave. Do consider planting ranunculus in winters. I'm sure you'll be very happy. Bye for now.